Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back. So today I want to be reviewing ProtonVPN, which is a VPN that I typically recommended as a free option and not much more than that. But after all the updates and all of these upgrades, I would say not just updates with ProtonVPN, like the ability to secure up to 10 devices now instead of limiting it to 1 or 5, and the fact that they have the biggest number of countries at this point out of all the other VPNs. So I'll be talking all about that and more details to help you figure out whether or not this is a good choice for you and your situation. And of course, if at any point you want to try Proton for yourself, I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below, which should always give you the best available discount for Proton in case you end up getting the subscription. So when it comes to VPNs, the first thing that I like to take a look at before even getting into the application and how it looks like and what the features are is the independent audits. So are there any independent audits with ProtonVPN? If you're not familiar, an independent audit is essentially when a third-party auditing company like Securitum, for example, or other auditors like KPMG and PricewaterhouseCoopers. So these companies will typically audit providers like ProtonVPN and all the other VPNs in the market. And so if you see that a VPN is confident enough to allow their application and network and policy to be audited by a third-party company, then in a way it can be considered certification that this VPN is indeed a trusted VPN, because not only do they claim that they don't collect your information, but they're also showing it in the form of an independent audit report. And you can read all these reports yourself and you'll see that most of the results are actually quite positive. So server-side configuration files for all VPN clients and across all of the protocols do not contain any logging implemented. As you can tell, auditors examined these logs and found no evidence of user-related data processed by users, so on and so forth. So for this reason specifically, I like to recommend ProtonVPN as the best available free VPN out there. And this is a statement that I stick by no matter what. Honestly, as a free VPN, it's an amazing VPN, but this was previously when I would be recommending a no logs free VPN. Even still, as a paid VPN, this is so much better than most other paid VPNs. You'll see a lot of VPNs claim a no logs policy, but when investigated a little further, you'll notice that they don't have any proof to essentially prove that they don't log your information, or you'll see some sketchy terms and conditions in the privacy policy, and nobody wants to see that. So thankfully with ProtonVPN, it is devoid of any suspicious terms and conditions, and it's certified by an auditor, which is great. Now, another thing I like about ProtonVPN is, as you can tell here, if you look at the logos, you'll see peer-to-peer and streaming compatible servers. Now, not all of the servers are going to be streaming in peer-to-peer compatible, but you'll notice that most of them are. Right here, I'm looking through the American servers, and you'll notice that almost 100% of them are compatible with streaming and torrenting. So this is something that I really like about ProtonVPN. Not many VPNs are able to, provide a consistent streaming experience. As you may know, VPNs tend to struggle with accessing streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, but I had no trouble accessing these services with ProtonVPN. As you can tell, it says top 10 TV shows in the US today. If I go to what is my IP address, you'll also notice that I'm using the American IP address here because I'm connected to the Phoenix, Arizona server with ProtonVPN. So I just wanted to also show you guys an extra way to confirm your IP address instead of just confirming it through the application itself. So as far as streaming and torrenting, almost all of the servers are fully compatible with streaming and torrenting. And as you can tell, we've got way too many servers here. Just with the American servers, there's just so many servers. And as you can tell, you're also able to use the free servers, but I wouldn't recommend these because they're limited as far as speed. So you want to stick with the high-speed servers here that you, of course, paid for if you end up paying for it. So again, as far as not collecting your information, allowing you to stream and torrent, it's completely covered here with ProtonVPN. Not to mention that you're also able to share your account because you can secure up to 10 devices simultaneously with ProtonVPN. So that's something that's really cool. As far as the server count, I mentioned that in the begining. And at this point, they have even more servers than NordVPN, which was supposed to have the biggest number of servers at 111. But with ProtonVPN, we've reached 112 and a little under 7.5K servers. So 7,000 servers is a lot, and 112 countries is more than what anyone can ask for, really, which is great. And if I haven't mentioned, by the way, you'll see that there is Tor over VPN here. So what Tor over VPN, you can, by the way, just look up the Tor servers. Tor over VPN essentially will give you access to the Tor network without having to download a special browser for it. So you're able to access any Onion website through any browser of your choice. So that's a useful option if you'd like to use any browser besides the Tor browser. This allows you to do it through the protected server of ProtonVPN. Now let's talk a little bit about port forwarding here. You'll notice that there's an option to port forward, and what this does, essentially, it's a feature that allows external devices to connect directly to your device through a specific port. And it works by telling your firewall or router to let data through that port instead of blocking it. So for torrenting, it improves connection speeds by allowing more peers to connect to you directly. And for gaming, it helps reduce lag by creating a direct path for data to your device, helping you to bypass some network restrictions. So I really love ProtonVPN's port forwarding feature. It makes it really easy for activities like that to be fully compatible with a VPN. And speaking of gaming, if you go to the settings here, let's just go to the settings, go to connection. You'll notice that there is a moderate NAT type. By the way, if you go to advanced settings, you can also activate port forwarding from here. So that's just another option. And as far as everything here, you definitely want to keep it on. And what I also like is that you have a split tunneling feature, but I'll get to that in just a second. But with moderate NAT type, essentially, as it says here, if you didn't know, NAT type determines how easily your device can connect to others in online multiplayer games, and it just affects your matchmaking and connection quality. And there's 3 types of NAT: type 1, type 2, and type 3. Type 1 is open, type 2 is moderate, type 3 is strict. Type 1 is going to allow the most amount of direct connections to other players, and it's the best for gaming, but it's rare because it requires no firewall restrictions. So naturally, this might be a little bit difficult to make it available with a VPN, which brings us to moderate, which is the type 2. So let's say you're using Proton for gaming, but you're getting type 3 NAT type. All you have to do to turn it into type 2 and make it work better for gaming is just click this moderate NAT type option right here. And from there, once you have these options turned on, you'll naturally have a better VPN configuration for gaming, better than most other VPNs, if I say so myself. Now, as far as the other options, there's a cool accelerator here. And once you turn it on, this will try to get you the best available speeds out of ProtonVPN. Essentially, it just prioritizes faster speeds. And as far as protocols, you want to stick to the smart one. This will connect you to the best available protocol, whether it's WireGuard or OpenVPN TCP or UDP. I just recommend keeping it on smart for the best performance. Protocols, you could just kind of consider them like they're the vehicles that carry you from the VPN to the internet, right? Some vehicles may be a little bit larger, more secure, but slower, such as the OpenVPN TCP. OpenVPN is a little bit faster with the UDP option, and other vehicles are a little bit more optimized, let's say like the WireGuard, and you can consider WireGuard to be the most optimized vehicle as far as speed and security and performance. So I can recommend WireGuard as a protocol that you can use all the time, but smart would be the smarter choice in case you connected to a server that was not compatible with WireGuard. It'll just reroute you automatically to most likely OpenVPN UDP. So that's about it as far as the options here. If you go to advanced, we've already went over port forwarding, and there's the port forwarding shortcut, which you can also enable and disable from here. You'll notice we have the kill switch, and the kill switch will essentially kill your internet connection, and it'll only make sure that you're going to be connected to the internet while you're secured by the VPN tunnel. You also have split tunneling. By the way, you do have the kill switch shortcut available also right here, and you can turn it on or off. And you have the secure core servers, and once you turn this on, it'll basically just route you through more secure servers if you feel like you're accessing some very sensitive data, or if you want to feel about as secure as you can get, you can go ahead and turn it on. It will slow down your speeds a little bit more, as you can see here, But again, this is just an option if you would like to take it. And let's just go back to split tunneling. And split tunneling will allow you to choose which applications can be routed through the VPN and which ones you'd like to be excluded from the VPN. So you can also do that for specific IP addresses, not just applications. So yeah, this can be a very useful feature. I like to specifically use it when I want to, for example, route my browser through the VPN while leaving everything else outside the VPN tunnel. Or sometimes I also like to use split tunneling to route everything through the VPN except for Steam, because I want to game without a VPN, let's say. So overall, split tunneling can be an incredibly useful feature. Finally, here you'll see the Open VPN network driver. Now the TUN adapter is going to be the faster one, but if you happen to have any issues, you can fall back on the TAP adapter. But to keep it short, the use case for TUN adapters would be for secure internet browsing in most VPN applications. As far as TAP, the use case here would be if you're connecting to a remote LAN or applications and needing full network emulation. I don't want to get too deep into this. This can be its own video, but yeah, just stick to TUN, and if you have any trouble, you can try the TAP adapter or TAP, and I'll just stop it there. So that's basically it as far as the VPN itself. The features are very solid. You've got options for gaming, you've got options for torrenting, it works with streaming, you have a whole lot of countries. The user interface, in my opinion, compared to NordVPN is a lot less clunky, and not to mention that when you click on any of the servers here, you're able to see every single individual server, and you can basically browse through them individually. So again, if I go through the state servers here, you'll notice that there's a lot. Now, because you're able to view all of them, you'll notice that it can get a little bit clunky here as I'm going through them, but I do appreciate the option to be able to go through them in the first place. But again, as you can tell here, just kind of going through them can be a little bit of a clunky experience. And there we go, I've closed it up. So yeah, that's the one downside I would say about the user interface, but besides that, everything else is great. ProtonVPN is easily one of the most recommended VPNs out there, not just as a free option. I cannot really recommend this as just a free option anymore. This is definitely one of the best paid options as well, alongside other VPNs like, Express and Nord and Surfshark and CyberGhost and PIA. And as far as compatibility, I mean, at this point, it's actually compatible with things like Fire Stick and Apple TV. So you're able to find the Proton application almost everywhere at this point. So that's really cool. And as far as the pricing, let me just show you how the prices have improved. It was a little bit more expensive before, and they've just made it a tiny bit cheaper, especially if you want to go ahead and grab the best discount. I'll be sure to leave it in the description down below. But for the 2-year plan, it's roughly $5, a little under $5, something like that, depending on your location. But for American audiences, I believe you're able to still get this deal if you click the link in the description down below. It should still be available. And even if you're watching this video later on, it will still give you the latest and best available discount for ProtonVPN. So feel free to take advantage of that whenever you would like. And besides that, that's essentially the end of today's video. I would absolutely recommend ProtonVPN to anybody that's not sure about VPNs and they just want to get their feet wet. You can go ahead and get the free version and see what it's like. And if you like it, you can use the link below again to grab yourself a discount and get a subscription and just try it out for yourself. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee anyways, just in case you want to go back on your decision. But if you're looking for a VPN that does nearly everything right, you've got a lot of countries at 112, over 7,000 servers, so that's plenty. You've got extra features here and there, like this ad blocker, if I haven't mentioned it, and Secure Core, and things like moderate NAT type, and things like the kill switch and split tunneling, and the ability to change from strict NAT type to moderate, and an easy way to change your DNS if I haven't mentioned it already, and the compatibility with streaming and torrenting, and the fact that it's constantly being audited. This honestly makes ProtonVPN one of the easiest VPNs to recommend. Again, not just because there's a free version of ProtonVPN, but also because the paid version is basically very much worth it at this point. So that'll be it for this video. Again, I'll leave all the useful links in the description down below. Feel free to leave any questions if you have any of them in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to answer all of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.